want to understand what I've done. I needed to find a way to outlive my daughter. So I began my experiments in search of mortality. I'd make some adjustments to people. Barry.
Anyone I get close to, it always ends in pain.
Rita.
Sometimes the easiest pain to ignore is our own.
Jane.
I've got 64 personalities. I'm Miranda.
Penny farthing, sir.
Baby doll duck! Hey Siri, what's the Doom Patrol?
Stop doing that. My name's Vic. I'm dealing with some kind of post-traumatic stress. Booyah.
And you, Cliff.
Get your ass back here! Oh, yeah! What's up with his daughter?
Dorothy's missing. She will unleash hell on Earth.
I told you to be polite.
And you will be powerless to stop it. Help me find her.
Get on this rocket ship, girl. Get on this rocket ship.
I don't know how you handle things like this.
Well, typically we just kind of wing it.
You bring the sun, I'll bring the open sky, you bring the moon.
So you want to become a superhero?
No.
We go together so well.
My powers have gotten pretty impressive. Now I'm going to go. Get a ladder.
What a morning, what a night.
Those annoying, feckless losers that I live with are my family. They may be spineless, but I know deep down they all care about me.
Ready for a hug?
Do not.
Coming in for the hug.
If we want to be a team, we have to make the effort.
Time to take out the trash.
Let's go!
Welcome back, everyone. It's Charlie. They just dropped the HBO trailer for Doom Patrol Season 2, so we'll break it down. There's a bunch of Justice League Easter eggs. There's also a lot of stuff going on with HBO Max, the Justice League Snyder cut. There's been a lot of rumors about Batman HBO series plans that I added to the video, and DC's overall programming strategy with its Green Lantern HBO series and the Justice League Dark HBO series they just announced. So I'll explain what's going on with all this in HBO Max. If you're new to the channel, be sure to subscribe to get all the Easter eggs. We'll do a new Amazon giveaway. All you have to do to enter is be a subscriber and let me know what you want them to do for their next big DC crossover if they have all these huge shows coming to HBO. We'll start with the Doom Patrol footage, then I'll explain the larger DC Universe Crisis on Infinite Earths, Justice League stuff, and the Justice League Snyder Cut stuff separately. If you have no idea what's going on with Doom Patrol, they were featured during Crisis on Infinite Earths. This is all taking place on Earth 21. The Doom Patrol is technically a spin-off of the Titans TV series, but they changed some things when the Doom Patrol series actually premiered, so they just said that it was off in a different universe, just to explain the continuity errors. Even if you didn't watch the series, you probably recognize some of those characters or some of those actors. It's based mostly on Grant Morrison's super weird, super trippy Doom Patrol comic book run. So during the trailer, the Chief, played by Timothy Dalton, explains the plot of Season 1. James Bond himself. He basically created each of those different members for specific reasons that they get into during Season 1. I'll explain that in a second, but then they give a rundown of each of the different team members, just for people that have never seen the series before. Because it's coming to HBO Max, it's reaching a way wider audience, which is part of the reason for putting it on HBO Max. So you have a whole bunch of people that probably see this and have no idea what's going on and don't realize that it's actually a DC TV show. They start with Negative Man, played by Matt Bomer. He has a radioactive soul self that he can astral project. It has electrical properties, so it can interact with other objects and people and help him. But while he's astral projecting, his regular body is completely vulnerable and he can only do it for a limited amount of time or he'll die. Elastowoman's powers are exactly what they sound like. She can stretch herself, she can reform her body to any shape that she wants, so she can use it to change her appearance or grow super huge, but she's really terrible at it right now. Cyborg is exactly what you remember from the Justice League. They haven't quite got into any of his crazy Motherbox, Darkseid, or New Gods stuff with this version of the character, but they do have their own version of Star Labs on the show, just like the Flash TV show, just like on Justice League. Crazy Jane was probably one of the best characters on the show last year. Just like she says in that trailer, she has 64 different personalities. Each one of them has a different superpower. Some of them are more powerful than others. Some of them are more for comedy. Some of them are a little bit scarier. Some of them are a little bit crazier. She's a little bit like Marvel's Legion character in that she has so many different personalities and each one has a different superpower. Brendan Fraser is Robot Man. He's a former race car driver whose body was destroyed in a car accident a long time ago. The chief put his brain inside the robot body, so he's kind of like a walking head in a jar. He drops a lot of F-bombs on the show. You see a little bit of what's going on during season 1. There's not a whole lot of Alan Tudyk's Mr. Nobody character, but he was one of the best characters on any DC TV show, or even movies for that matter. He was completely crazy. He has god-tier extra-dimensional powers that I'll explain in a second, but I don't know how much of him is going to be in season 2, because the new threat is actually in the Chief's daughter, Dorothy Spinner here. Obviously a reference to Dorothy from The Wizard of Oz, but she has crazy god-tier powers as well. She's the character that looks like she stepped out of the Twilight Zone episode, Eye of the Beholder, where everyone on Earth had the weird faces, but the beautiful woman was the ugly one. They're doing the version of the character that Grant Morrison did when he did his Doom Patrol run, and it had a lot to do with something called the Matter Opticon, which was a device created by Dr. Destiny, a villain that had the ability to create reality from the fabric of dreams. So as you can see in the trailer, they're just saying that she has those powers naturally, like a metahuman, her god-tier powers of creation to change reality or create anything that she wants to, make it real, not just an illusion. That's why the chief is telling them that if they don't help his daughter, she could wind up destroying the world and they would be powerless to stop her. So that's the big threat of season 2. During season 1, when you get the backstories on everyone and you learn that he actually created the accidents that gave them their metahuman abilities, you learn that he did it because he was searching for a way to try and expand his lifespan so that he could live long enough to find a cure to help his daughter, because her powers are just so off the charts crazy. I think a really good comparison to make would be Franklin Richards in the Marvel Universe. Franklin Richards, probably the most powerful person next to Galactus in the Marvel comic book universe. They haven't said much about what's going on with the other villains on the show or big crossovers or anything like that yet. It's still pretty early in the season, but it's all going to be dropping on HBO Max. They're claiming right now that not all the DC shows are going to be coming to HBO Max. They're trying to curate it a little bit more, so they're trying to keep the series that they do put on HBO Max a little more higher quality, a little more top tier. That's why they said that they're spending movie-level money, like $150, $160 million, making the Green Lantern HBO TV series, the J.J. Abrams Justice League Dark TV series. Then you have all the Justice League Snyder Cut stuff that's coming to HBO Max, which is kind of going to be a 6-episode maxi series. Technically, it's a movie, but it's also being dropped in the way that a TV series would be dropped with 1 episode per week. We also learned a little bit more about that too. The actor who plays Darkseid in the Justice League Snyder Cut was dropping more teasers about scenes that he has with Batman. There's a lot of Darkseid that's being added back into Justice League Snyder Cut. I've already done a couple videos about that, the changes that they made, the deleted scenes, what Zack Snyder is changing. It's basically a completely different movie than the Justice League theatrical cut. So Zack Snyder's original plans for Justice League are a completely different storyline, completely different story arcs for the characters. They'll be releasing the Snyder Cut next year. They haven't announced an official release date, but it sounds like it's going to be sometime in the spring of 2021 because they're basically going through post-production. They won't be filming a ton of extra scenes, but they will be doing extra dialogue to sort of stitch the scenes together that Zack Snyder is putting back in the movie, or that he's constructing his version of the movie from. It'll be like a 4.5 hour movie broken into 6 different parts, 30 to 40 minutes each, basically with big act breaks, big WTF moments pushing you into the next episode. I'll link some of the other videos that I've done for that at the end of this too, just because we have learned quite a bit about it. The other real big stuff that's going on is all the Titan Season 3 stuff. They're doing a lot of Batman. People always wonder if you could do Batman on TV, but what's going on during Season 3 is that they're introducing Barbara Gordon, Batgirl, and Oracle. I believe she's going to be Oracle when she comes onto the show, but there'll be a bunch of flashbacks to her as Batgirl as well, so they're kind of doing every version of Barbara Gordon. I know there are a lot of people that heard rumors about an HBO Batman series, so there were rumors about them doing the plot of the Ben Affleck Batman movie when it was still going to be Ben Affleck doing that instead of Robert Pattinson and Matt Reeves doing their version of the Batman. It was going to be a big Arkham Asylum Deathstroke Batman story. As far as I know, those rumors are not true, and HBO does not have plans to do any major Batman story with Ben Affleck outside of the Snyder Cut Justice League stuff that's going on. I would completely flip if they ever did a Batman HBO series. Everybody would flip. So if we hear anything about that that sounds like it's real, of course I'll do a video about it. Everyone just post all your reactions and your big questions in the comments below. If you haven't seen Doom Patrol yet either, check it out on HBO Max. It's a rad series. It's super trippy and super weird. But click here for my full Justice League Snyder Cut teaser trailer and Easter eggs video, and click here to learn about the new version of the Joker that's coming to the new Batman movies. Thank you so much for watching. Everyone stay safe. I'll see you guys tonight.